This is World of Warships. I'm going to be showing this to you on PC. I know it is available on console as well, and I know that there's also a version that's on mobile phones. And I have not played any of those. I assume there's a lot of similarities. I'm not 100% that everything translates to every different version of the game, but this is the PC version, so particularly if you have the PC version, this is specifically for you. For those of you that may be on other platforms, make of this what you will. First, we start out on our main screen, which I like to think of as the port, but the port is actually only one of 5 different screens on the main screen that you can go to. Always you have your header bar up here at the top, and I'll get to this other stuff up here in a minute, but first I want to start out talking about right over here by where your name is. To the right of that you have where you can select port. So if you notice right now, my port, it has a giant magic looking dragon thingy in it, so I set it to that. Right here you can customize what your main screen looks like. The default right now, changes at times, is this designer's table, but you know, I made it this dragon. You could pick Dunkirk, Fjord Secure, Hawaii, Hamburg. There's a number of different cities that you could select, and then of course you just click it, click save changes. It takes a second for it to load. And then boom, just like that, your main screen is different. But I do like the dragon. I think it looks cool. So why not? Up here in the top left is where you can go to the menu. There's a couple things in the menu that are fairly important. One is the video tutorials. If you click on that, it takes you to this area where they break it down into different categories as to how to do things, and you can click and watch a little video on that. Also, you can exit the game, exit the desktop, but for me, that doesn't do anything any different than clicking on the X at the top right. Because either way, you click on it and it says, do you want to exit the game? And you just say yes again, and then you leave the game. It's that easy. It's a pretty quick exit. Settings, though. There's some pretty cool stuff under settings. Graphics, I've never changed anything here. Of course, everybody's setup is different, so feel free to adjust however you feel is necessary. Under the audio settings, of course, there's a number of things we can change surrounding sounds and particularly music. I like to, switch up the music in battle versus port because I want to be able to hear things on the battlefield a little bit better. But also, the other thing I changed in here is the music mode. It starts out under mixed. There's also original, which is kind of more dramatic and upbeat. And then, of course, there's war drums, which is also a bit more high octane, I guess. I don't know. I like the dynamic, which is what we're hearing right now. Dynamic, I don't know. It almost sounds like relaxing techno music or something. So I enjoy it, and that's what I have it set to. Of course, also under settings, we have controls. I would make sure that everything that's checked here is checked on yours. Also, down here, make sure these checks are the same. And then where it says crosshair, select crosshair and set it to dynamic. What that'll do is it'll make sure that these vertical tick marks here that are on the horizontal line, they'll become bigger or smaller as you zoom in and out, so that relative distances are actually accurate regardless of the zoom level, which I find very useful. One other thing in here is I would make sure these are also the same as well, but I think these are defaults. I think though alternative interface mode, I think it starts out under adaptive or off. I would set it to full, and that makes sure that you can see the names of ships and their health bars at all times. Of course, if you want to remap any controls, controls are over here, and you can remap whatever you want. I did not remap anything, but this is also, if there's something that you want to know how to do and I didn't go over it, you can look at it in here and find the controls to see how to do anything in the game. So back to the main screen here. Some of this stuff is self-explanatory. The first thing that I would go into, though, and just talking about, is the premium shop. The premium shop is where you can spend actual money to get things. So the credits, there's also doubloons in this game that are required for doing different kinds of things. You can also straight up buy particular ships, but you also get ships You get doubloons, you get all these coins and currencies by playing the game. The only thing in the store that you can't get by just playing the game is these two ships right here. The only way to get them is to actually purchase them. Combat missions and campaigns are kind of the same thing. It's really just setting different goals. And whenever you meet specific goals, then you get specific rewards, usually crates or maybe just straight up currency or commander XP where you can upgrade your commanders and stuff. But you can also see when I go into campaigns, like I said, similarly, what you're doing is you're coming in here and you're picking different tasks. So like incapacitate or destroy 4 modules on enemy ships. You know, it's not a specific level that you're doing, it's just a specific task that you're doing while you're in game. And you can see here I completed one earlier, and there is a reward here from completing that task, so I can go ahead and click collect rewards, and then whatever that reward was, I've now got it. I'll be able to see it when I get back to the main screen. So let's see what are the tasks in here, because I do want to set some right now. Set enemy ships on fire 3 times. That is very easy. I could do that with HE rounds. I'll just start out a round with HE rounds. Alright, destroy 2 ships. Also very easy. It doesn't even say I have to do it in one single game. So it's just a matter of time before I get that one. Alright, cause 10,000 HP of damage to enemy ships by fire. Again, if I just keep my round set to HE and, you know, play for a little while, I'll meet this criteria and then I'll get whatever reward that is. So earlier when we were in campaigns, you saw that I had unlocked some rewards, and when I'm back out here on my main screen, I do see that I have 2 containers. So I can go to containers here, and I can say open containers, and we see I got some signals, looks like a patch. Got a little bit of XP, some more signals, and a patch. At the bottom, you can see all the different ships that you have in your fleet. When you first start out the game, you have 1 ship from each of 4 different nations. You have 1 from Japan, 1 from the US, 1 from Germany, and 1 from the Netherlands. As you progress, you get the HP and the credits that you need to be able to unlock additional ships, which I'll show you in a minute. As a default, your fleet can have up to 10 ships in it. If you want to have more slots, you have to purchase more slots. But of course, as you upgrade your ships, like for instance, the Wyoming here is a tier 4 battleship and the New York is a tier 5 battleship. So if I wanted to, I could just come in here and sell this tier 4 battleship, and that would leave more room in my dock or my fleet to have other ships so that I could continue to upgrade and get better and better ships. So for instance, obviously I've been mainly focusing on the US line of ships, and I no longer have the base ship. I've sold it, and I've sold a couple of the other ships that I've upgraded to and beyond at various points. Over here on the right, you can see the commander for the ship that you have selected. So if you notice when I select different ships, it changes. Sometimes the avatar for the person looks the same. As far as the game is concerned, these are different people. So for whichever ship and whatever captain, if you want to come in here, if you click on their name right here, if you look in here, you can see a number of different upgrades. You can also see right below the symbol inside of the box that appears, so not the symbol that my mouse is on, but the symbol inside of the box that has appeared because of my mouse. If you look right below that, you can see mastering cost 1. And back on the main menu, you can see I had 1 mastering cost that's undistributed. So if I came in here and I wanted to make an upgrade or to get a mastering thing, I could just click on the upgrade, see what it is, look at the mastering cost. If it's the value of or less than the value of the distributing amount I have for mastering cost, then I can go ahead and get that by just clicking on it and clicking on master. Keep in mind that the mastering skills, as you go further down the line here, have higher mastering costs. So like for instance, this has a mastering cost of 3. So I don't necessarily want to buy up all of the ones that are only 1 if I'm trying to save up and go down a particular line to get a particular end skill down here. Before you click on battle, you always want to make sure that you have whatever ship you want to use already selected, because whatever ship you have highlighted down here whenever you go to battle, that's the ship that you're going to be using in that battle. Okay, so far we've been in port. To the right of that is equipment. Under equipment is where you can upgrade various components on your ship in particular. So of course you can upgrade by getting better ships, but before getting better ships, you can also upgrade the ship that you have in various different ways. You can look at the different consumables and the armament for your ship. You can also install upgrades. If you install an upgrade though, if you ever want to dismount it, it costs doubloons, which are kind of hard to come by in the game. Of course, you can always buy them with real money, but if you're trying to get by without spending as much money, I would, save up doubloons as much as you can, and in line with that, until you really get like a final ship in a particular path, like until you get to the battleship that is the highest class that you're going to want to use, I wouldn't install these because otherwise you're going to be burning through doubloons and you're going to end up needing to buy some. So while we're on this screen, let me just talk for just a minute about the different armaments and consumables that you're going to have on your ship. The main two armaments are going to be HE and AP shells. So HE is high explosive. These don't penetrate the ship that you're hitting as much as AP shells do. So it's not as good at causing like structural damage and like flooding and stuff like that. What it mainly does is it sets fires. So you would want to shoot these rounds higher up on the ship and setting fires there to cause damage in that way. So the other thing you have is AP shells, and I believe every ship has AP shells. I do not believe every ship will have HE shells. But AP shells are armor piercing. They do more structural damage. They punch through that hull a lot better. So they cause flooding damage and structural damage a lot better than the other. Under consumables, the first thing that you're going to see on pretty much any ship is going to be your damage control party. The main thing that this does is it puts out fires. So we're going to battle, we're getting shot at with various guns and cannons and bombs. Our ship is probably going to catch fire at some point, and this is how we take care of that. Your repair party does a lot better job at controlling flood damage. So when you first get hit and it penetrates the hull, you see your HP or your health meter go down, but you also see a gray period appear inside of that. If you use your repair party before a certain amount of time goes by, you can actually restore your health back up to where the top of that gray line is. If that solid green portion is down here and you have gray to right here and you do nothing, after that time passes, you will only have whatever that green amount of health is. So by not pressing and using repair party, you can give up a significant portion of your health. Now sometimes you do want to delay that just a little bit, like say if it's the first time in the round that you've been hit and you didn't take that much damage and it looks like you're about to get hit again very soon and you're going to take even more damage, wait until you've taken that significant increase in damage before you start using this, because both of these, the repair party and the damage control party, have cooldown periods, which are going to be different lengths of time on different ships, but in any case, it takes a while for these to recharge, so use them sparingly. The next consumable that you're going to see kind of early on in the game is the spotting aircraft. What this really does is allows you to shoot from a higher vantage point relative to the water. So the main form of cover in this game is islands. So if you use this, sometimes you can shoot over an island and hit a target that you otherwise could not have hit. Now, if we look at exterior, there's two things we can do here, camouflage and signals. And they both kind of do similar things. They essentially make our ship better. So, for instance, you can look right here, this camouflage will decrease detectability range by sea by 3%. Also, dispersion of shells fired by enemies attacking my ship will increase by 4%. So, when they shoot their guns, all of their rounds are not going to hit in the same place. The same as mine. Whenever I shoot my guns, all of my rounds are not going to hit in the exact same place. They're going to be spread out some, and by enabling this particular camouflage, when enemies fire at me, their spread will be bigger, which means less rounds are going to hit my ship, and I'm going to take less damage from it. You can also see that by using this camouflage, my XP per battle would be increased by 100%, so it would double. Under signals, we have different what they look like as flags to me, but they are signals, and by mounting them you get various benefits to your ship, and you can see it actually puts them on my ship over here. So for instance, the Papa Papa economical signal, it costs 8 doubloons, but it will increase my free XP by 300%. Zulu Hotel economic signal increases commander HP by 50% and only costs 6 doubloons. Different signals cost different amounts and give you different benefits. The first thing that I would point out is that the tech tree ships are broken down by the type of ship. So battleships over here, cruisers right here, destroyers here, aircraft carriers here, and premium ships all the way on the right. If I click and hold, I can drag and look around. Even before I've unlocked a ship, and even before I have the ability to unlock a ship, I can hover the mouse over it and look at the statistics for that ship if I'm just curious. If I have a ship, it's checked off. If I can have a ship by unlocking it, it's no longer grayed out. If I do have a ship that I can unlock, it's not checked off and it's not grayed out. If I want to unlock that ship, if I click on it, if I have the XP that's required, I can click Research or Purchase. Over on the left-hand side here, you can see also that all of these ships are broken down by what country they come from. So as I said earlier, I've mainly been focusing so far on the US line of ships. If we look at Russia, we can also progress through all these different Russian ships. We can progress through all of these German ships, French ships, Japanese ships, ships from the UK, France, Italy, Pan-Asia, Europe, the Netherlands, and I'm not sure what Commonwealth is, but it's there, and it looks pretty cool. The last thing to look at in the main menu is your profile. If you click on your profile under Summary, you're basically going to see your stats for the game. My destruction ratio, which is essentially my kill to death ratio, is 3.27. You can see I've won 98% of the battles I've been in. I've played 60 battles so far. You can see the victories I've had, defeats. You can see how many battles I've survived, because you can win a battle even if you don't survive. If your ship is blown up but your team wins, it still counts as a win. You can see the stats for your average battle, so it breaks it down and shows you if every battle were equal based on everything that you've done so far, what would you have done in each and every single battle. So for instance, it says warships destroyed 0.8. So if you take the total number of warships I've destroyed, divide it by the total number of games I've played, it gives you an average number of warships that I destroy per game. You can also see a list of your best stats per game, so the most that you got per battle. So the most warships I've ever destroyed in a single battle has been 4. The most damage I've done to ships in one single battle is 93,014 units of damage, whatever that unit is, I'm not sure. At the top, you can select different battle types though. When you first start out, you can only do co-op battle, which is against bots. But once you rank up a few times, which only takes maybe 2 battles, you will unlock random battle, and that's when you can play against other actual people. Being that random battle is with other actual people though, if it's a particular time of day when not a lot of people are playing, this game mode can take a lot longer just to find the match, just because it has to wait so long to find enough people that are trying to play at the same time in the same area as you. So once we have our ship selected that we want to use in battle, and we have the battle mode selected that we are going to do, we just click on battle. And that's basically all you need to know about everything on the main screen out here, outside of the gameplay area.